Chosen one, stop for just a moment before the noise of your day pulls you back in. Before the weight of everything you are carrying settles back onto your shoulders. I need you to stay right here with me for just a little while, because something is about to be spoken over your life that was never meant to reach everyone. It was meant to reach you, specifically, personally, at this exact moment, on this exact day when you needed it most and perhaps did not even know it. You have been feeling it, haven't you? That quiet sense that something is shifting inside you, even when everything around you still looks the same. A feeling that something old is loosening its grip. A morning where the heaviness lifted just slightly. A moment when you looked in the mirror, and for the first time in a long time, something in your eyes looked different. That was not a coincidence. That was a sign, and what I am about to tell you now is going to confirm everything you have quietly felt but were afraid to believe was real. You are not aging in the direction this world assumed you would. You are being renewed. You are being restored. And the transformation that is already taking place within you is about to become visible in ways that will leave the people around you asking what changed. Not just your face, not just your skin, but your presence, your energy. The way a room feels when you walk into it. The way your eyes carry something luminous and settled that was not there before. This is not a promise for someday. This is a declaration for right now. So I am asking you stay watch until the end, because every word that follows was placed here for you. Before we go deeper into what has already been set in motion for your life, I want to pause for a breath. There is someone out there, right now, who is sitting exactly where you were sitting not long ago. Maybe in a quiet room late at night. Maybe after a hard day that left them wondering whether anything was ever going to change. They are searching, and they have not found this message yet. If what you are hearing right now is reaching something real inside you, then there is a way you can help carry it to that person without any cost to yourself at all. You can simply share this message. You can leave a word in the comments so that the next soul who finds this place knows they are not alone. Now, let us continue, because what is coming next belongs to you. There is something I need to acknowledge first, because I have not looked away from any of it. I have seen the years you spent pouring yourself out for others while quietly running on empty. I have seen the mornings you dragged yourself up, not because you were rested, but because you had no other choice. I have seen the moments in between, the ordinary, invisible moments when you sat alone and wondered if the version of yourself that felt alive and light and full of something was gone for good. It showed up in the mirror sometimes, didn't it? A tiredness behind your eyes that had nothing to do with sleep. A tension in your face that stayed even when you smiled. A sense that time had pressed itself into you in ways that went far deeper than your skin. And you carried all of that without complaining. You kept going. You kept showing up even when it cost you more than anyone around you understood. But here is what I need you to hear, and hear clearly. That exhaustion you have been wearing was never the truth of who you are. It was the evidence of how much you endured. It was the mark of a season, not a permanent state. And that season is over. What tried to age you from the inside out has run out of permission to stay. And what is replacing it is not just rest. It is restoration complete. Unhurried, deeply rooted restoration that reaches every part of you. Type Amen in the comments right now if you feel this is speaking to something real inside you. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give, and it will be given to you, is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose, join the conversation, and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today, join our community, and see what God brings back into your life. I am speaking something over you today that cannot be reversed once it is released. You will look younger, not because of anything you apply to your face or any effort you make to change your appearance, but because of what is being shifted at the foundation of who you are. When the weight is removed from your spirit, when the fear that lived beneath your expression begins to dissolve, when the grief that sat behind your eyes starts to lift, your face cannot help but follow. This is not cosmetic. This is not temporary. This is cellular. This is spiritual. This is the kind of renewal that does not fade when circumstances change, because it is not coming from circumstances. It is coming from within you, from a place so deep that nothing on the outside can touch it once it is established there. Your eyes will begin to carry light again, not the performed light of someone trying to seem fine, but the settled, unhurried light of someone who knows they are held. People will look at you and not be able to explain what is different. They will say you seem rested. They will say you seem lighter. They will say there is something about you now that was not there before. And you will know where it came from. You will know it had nothing to do with luck. It had everything to do with a grace that was working inside you, even in the seasons when you felt furthest from it. The weariness is leaving. I am removing it layer by layer, carefully, the way you would peel back something that covered a beautiful surface for too long. Beneath all of it, you are still intact. You are still luminous. You are still exactly who you were made to be. Type 11 if you receive this declaration over your life. There is a version of yourself you remember, maybe only in flashes, a lightness in your step, a freedom in your laugh, eyes that held a brightness that felt effortless. A way you carried yourself before everything got so heavy. You may have quietly grieved that version of yourself without telling anyone. You may have looked at old photographs and felt a strange kind of ache, wondering if that person was gone. If the years had simply taken something that could not be given back, I am telling you now that nothing was taken. It was stored. It was protected. It was waiting for exactly this moment. That lightness you remember is not a memory of who you used to be. It is a preview of who you are still becoming. The brightness in those eyes was not a product of youth. It was a product of freedom. And freedom is exactly what is being restored to you right now. You are not going back to who you were before the hard things happened. You are moving forward into someone stronger, deeper, and more at peace than that version ever was. Someone who carries both the wisdom of what they endured and the lightness of what has been released. Someone who has been through the fire and come out not burned, but refined. That combination, that depth paired with that ease, is what will make people stop and look twice. It is not something you can buy or borrow. It is earned through exactly the kind of journey you have been on. And you have arrived. You may have noticed small things recently that you dismissed as coincidence. A morning where you woke up, and for just a few seconds before your thoughts started, everything felt still and okay. A moment in conversation where you noticed you were not reacting the way you used to. A quiet evening where, instead of the usual restlessness, there was something that felt almost like peace. Those are not accidents. Those are evidence. The work has already begun. It began before you pressed play on this video. It began in one of those quiet moments you almost did not pay attention to. Something shifted in you. A release that happened without fanfare, without ceremony, without you even fully knowing it was taking place. Your body has been responding to this, too. Maybe you have felt it in the way your breathing has started to come a little easier. Maybe you have noticed that the tight, braced feeling you carried in your shoulders has been slightly less constant. Maybe you have caught yourself in a moment of unexpected calm and wondered where it came from. It came from this. It is already moving. You do not have to chase it. You do not have to force it or earn it or wait for permission to receive it. It is already inside you. Already working. Already unfolding in a direction that only moves forward. Type 444 in the comments if you have felt this quiet shift even in small ways. I want to speak to the part of you that almost stopped believing. The part that sat in the silence at the end of a long day and whispered to itself that maybe this was just how life was going to feel. Maybe the vibrant, hopeful, alive version of you was simply not compatible with the adult world. Maybe resilience just meant learning to carry the weight instead of ever putting it down. That voice lied to you, and I need you to know that I heard it. And I stepped in. There were moments when I was working so quietly inside you that you could not feel it. Moments when nothing looked different from the outside, but foundations were shifting in places you could not see. When roots were going deeper. When the ground beneath you was being prepared for something far more stable than what you had been standing on. The delays were not abandonment. The silence was not absence. Every day you felt stuck was a day I was protecting something in you that was not ready to be exposed yet, because I knew what was coming, and I knew you needed to be whole before you stepped into it. You were not forgotten. You were being prepared. And now here you are on the other side of all of that, still standing, still breathing, still open. And that means everything because it tells me that you are ready. The strength it took to stay when everything in you wanted to walk away, that strength is still inside you. And now instead of using it to survive, you are going to use it to live. Type 777 if you held on even when it was hard. Can I take one quiet moment with you right here? You are halfway through this message. And if what you are hearing is reaching you the way I hope it is, then I want you to know something. There are people in every corner of the world who are sitting in the same place you were, sitting before this found you. People who are weary. People who have been carrying things alone for far too long. people whose faces carry the same kind of tired you once recognized in the mirror. They are looking for something. They do not always know how to name what they are looking for, but it is this, these words, this space. Now let us keep going, because the best of this is still ahead. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment, whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-Fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself, Jesus says. This is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. There is something about you that is beginning to change the way you enter a room. It is not something you are doing deliberately. You are not standing differently or speaking differently or making any conscious effort to present yourself in a new way. But people are noticing something, a quiet steadiness, a sense of ease that was not there before. Something behind your eyes that feels like it has finally found its footing. That is your presence being restored. Presence is not about performance. It is not about confidence in the way the world defines confidence, loud and armored, and always ready for opposition. True presence is the result of a settled spirit. It is the quality that comes from a person who no longer needs external validation to feel whole. And it radiates. It literally radiates from your face, from your posture, from the way you listen, and the way you speak. Your face is softer now, even if you have not fully recognized it. The tension that once lived around your eyes and your jaw is beginning to release, because the vigilance that created it is no longer necessary. You are not bracing for impact the way you once were. You are beginning slowly, gently, to trust that you are safe enough to unfold. And when a person begins to unfold from the inside, the outside cannot stay the same. Your skin responds to a body that is no longer flooded with cortisol and sustained fear. Your eyes respond to a nervous system that is finally beginning to rest. Your whole face responds to a heart that is no longer holding its breath. This is why you will look younger. Not because youth is about age, but because youth in its truest form is about freedom, and you are becoming free. Type 555 to claim this restoration over your life right now. I want to honor something before we go any further. The fact that you are here, the fact that you pressed play, the fact that you stayed, tells me something about you that I want to say out loud. You never fully stopped hoping, even in the seasons when you told yourself you had given up, even in the stretches of time where you stopped asking for things because the silence felt too costly. Some small part of you kept a door open. Some quiet, stubborn, beautiful part of you stayed willing, stayed open to the possibility that something could still change. That is not a small thing. That is one of the rarest things there is. Most people, when they have been through enough hard seasons in a row, close. They protect themselves. They become smaller on purpose so that there is less of them to hurt. And there is grace for that, because survival deserves grace. But you did not fully close. You stayed porous. You stayed available. And that availability is what made this moment possible. The door that your willingness kept open is the door I walked through. And what I am bringing through it is not a partial restoration, or a conditional blessing, or a temporary lift. What I am bringing is a complete return to life. Not the life you had before the hard things. A better one. A truer one. One that fits the person you have become. Not the person you were before the growing began. You endured for a reason. And the reason is standing right in front of you now. Type 888 if you are ready to receive everything that was preserved for this season. In the days and weeks ahead, you will begin to notice more specific changes. And I want you to be watching for them so that you recognize them when they arrive. Your mornings will begin to feel different. Not dramatically at first, but there will be a morning soon where you open your eyes and the first feeling that meets you is not dread or exhaustion. It will be something quieter, something almost like spaciousness. A few seconds of calm before the day asks anything of you. That calm will grow. You will catch yourself in the mirror and pause, not out of criticism, the way you used to pause, cataloging what needs to change or hiding from what you see, but out of something closer to recognition. Your eyes will hold something you have not seen in a while. Your expression will carry a rest in it. Your face will begin to reflect the truth of what is actually happening inside you rather than the weight of everything you have been carrying. People who have not seen you in a while will say something. They will not always know exactly what to say. They may land on the word rested or refreshed or light. They may simply say that you seem good, really good, with a kind of emphasis that tells you they mean something more than a polite greeting. Let those moments land. Let them be evidence. Let yourself believe them. Your energy will come back in layers. First, in small windows of vitality, moments where you feel genuinely alive and present in your own body. Then those windows will widen. Then they will become the default rather than the exception. You will find yourself moving through your days with a naturalness that you forgot was available to you. All of this is already in motion. Do not measure it by yesterday. Measure it by 6 months ago, and then watch what is different. If there is a voice inside you right now saying that this sounds beautiful, but you have been told beautiful things before and nothing changed, I want to speak directly to that voice. That skepticism makes sense. You did not arrive at it randomly. You arrived at it through experience, through times when you reached for hope and found it did not hold your weight, through promises that felt real in the moment but dissolved in the daylight, through the specific kind of disappointment that comes from believing something fully and then watching it not happen. I am not asking you to override that. I am not asking you to perform a faith you do not feel or pretend a certainty that has not been given to you yet. I am only asking you to stay present with what is actually happening right now in this moment in your body. Not what has happened before. Not what might or might not happen in the future. Just what is here. Just what you are actually feeling as these words reach you. Because if something in you recognized itself in what was said about carrying things for too long, if something in you knows what it is to endure a season that stretched further than you thought you could handle, if something in you quietly leans toward the idea that maybe this time something could genuinely shift, then that recognition is not wishful thinking. That recognition is a signal. It is your spirit responding to something that was already prepared for it. And signals like that do not come from nowhere. You are not too late. You have never been too late. And the version of you that believed you were is the version that is being gently, permanently retired right now. What I want to leave you with before we reach the end of this message is the simplest and most important thing of all. You are being made new, not fit, not patched. not made to look like a better version of someone you are not, made new from the inside in a way that is completely native to who you are and who you were always created to be. The version of you that is emerging right now is not a stranger. It is the most familiar thing you have ever known. It is the you that existed before the world got its hands on you and started adding weight. Before the loss, before the disappointment, before the exhaustion, before the years of pouring out more than you were able to take in, that version was never erased. It was never destroyed or replaced. It was simply waiting quietly with extraordinary patience for exactly this season to arrive. And this is that season. Your face is going to tell a story that your words have not yet caught up to. People are going to look at you and see something that they want without fully understanding why. They are going to be drawn to the quality of rest and aliveness that you carry, because rest and aliveness together are the rarest combination in a world that runs on neither. You carry both now, and it will show. Not because you earned it by suffering enough, not because you finally got something right, but because grace does not work on a merit system. It moves where it wants to move, and it has moved here. It has moved toward you. It is moving through you right now. Let it. Receive it fully. Open your hands and your heart and the deepest, most guarded parts of yourself and let this in. You deserve to be restored. You deserve to be renewed. You deserve to look in the mirror and recognize yourself again. Not through the lens of what you have been through, but through the lens of who you truly are. That day is not coming. It is here. It arrived with you and it is not leaving. Type Amen one final time if you receive everything that was declared over your life in this message today. If something in this message landed in a place that needed to hear it, I want to ask something simple from you. Reach down and press the like button right now, not as a favor to an algorithm, as an act of agreement, as a small quiet statement that says, yes, this is real, and I receive it. That is all one press. And somehow in this strange and beautiful space between a screen and a spirit, it matters. And leave something in the comments below. It does not have to be much. A number, a word, a sentence about what you are stepping into or stepping out of. Because every comment you leave is read by someone else who stumbles here in the middle of the night looking for proof that they are not alone. Your word becomes their sign. You will never know whose life it reached, but it will reach someone. I promise you that. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, this is your invitation. Not a loud one, just a gentle one. Because there are more messages coming. More declarations, more words set apart for you in seasons you have not reached yet. And I want you to be here when they arrive. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so that when something is spoken that was made for exactly where you are, it finds you. Finally, I want to say one last thing about something close to my heart. This channel exists because someone believed that words spoken with care over tired and searching souls could change the direction of a life. And it has over and over again in quiet ways I have been privileged to witness. Chosen one. Pause everything you are doing and give this your full attention. What you are hearing now is not a message meant for everyone. This is a summons, a warning, a covering. Heaven has issued a decree over your life. God has spoken, and what He has declared is this. For a season, you are being called into rest so deep it will feel like disappearance. Not because you are weak, but because what is coming is too weighty for an exhausted soul to carry. The forces around you are shifting with unusual violence, and what you call a pause is actually the line of protection between you and chaos. Because the enemy has been looking for a moment to strike, not because you are weak, but because you are close to a door, close to a change, close to the kind of breakthrough that makes darkness panic. Remember what Jesus said when the storm roared and the disciples thought they were going to die. He stood up and spoke peace to what terrified them, and the wind obeyed. Mark 40:39. That same authority is guarding your life right now, even if you can't see it yet. Before you go any further, let's do what we do as a community that believes God still speaks, still leads, and still covers His people. Hit the like button, subscribe to join the rising army of chosen ones, and drop 99 in the comments as your signal of alignment, your public yes, your spiritual agreement. Your marker that you're not just watching with curiosity, you're receiving with faith. And if you are truly chosen for this word, you won't click away halfway through, because the enemy loves to distract right before the instruction becomes clear. Stay with me, because what's coming next is not ordinary, and your protection, your breakthrough, and your destiny are being sealed in this season of stillness. Now listen closely. What is about to happen to you is not tiredness from a long week, not burnout, not a random crash, and not laziness. This is sacred shutdown. It is heaven placing a hand over your life and saying, "Nof. Lie down, let me work." It will feel like your body is being commanded to rest beyond your normal capacity. Like your system is pulling the emergency brake even when your mind wants to keep pushing forward. And the reason is simple. God is removing you from noise, pressure, and interference so He can do the kind of deep inner work that cannot be done while you are constantly performing, explaining, fixing, proving, and surviving. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 460:10 is not a cute quote for wall art. It is a strategy for spiritual warfare, because when God says, "Be still," He is not asking you to do nothing. He is asking you to stop interfering with what only He can do. You may try to resist. You may tell yourself, "I've got too much to do," or "I can't afford to slow down," or "People are counting on me." And your brain will start listing deadlines, responsibility, and unfinished tasks like a drumline that won't stop. But your spirit will rise louder than your schedule and say, "Let go," because God is about to pull you into a rest that feels like days. And what you will think is lost time will actually be protected time. This is not God punishing you. It is God preserving you. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is God loving you too much to let you run on broken legs. You've been moving on adrenaline for so long that you started calling it strength. But heaven is not impressed by what you can carry if it's crushing what you were created to become. And when this shutdown comes, it may feel strange. You'll set alarms, but your body will ignore them. You'll try to push through, but your system will surrender. You'll feel a heaviness that is not the heaviness of depression, but the weight of a transition. It's like the atmosphere of your life thickens, and you can't keep running at the same pace because the altitude is changing. Some people will not understand. They will label it. They will judge it. They will say you're drifting, but God will be whispering, "I am holding you." And what matters is not what the world calls it. What matters is what heaven is doing in it. Scripture says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28, not distraction, not denial, rest. Then He says something even deeper, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me." Matthew 11:29. That means your rest is not empty. Your rest is training. Your rest is instruction. Your rest is alignment. Here is the part you must not miss. While your physical eyes close, your spirit is about to open. While the world thinks you are offline, heaven is bringing you into a frequency where God can speak without competition. This is incubation, not interruption. A womb, not a grave. You're not stepping away from life. You're stepping into God's hands. And He can do in days what would have taken you years to force through hustle. You are entering a season where your progress will not look like constant motion. It will look like deep transformation, and that transformation is protected because certain upgrades cannot happen under constant exposure. Some things are too tender to be built in public. That's why it will feel like hiddenness. God will pull you away from platforms, from people, from projects, from noise, from endless conversation, not to punish you, but to heal you in private, like a seed under soil. Nothing looks like it's happening on the surface, but everything is happening underneath. Jesus said the kingdom works like that. First the seed, then growth, then harvest. And the ground does not announce what it's doing. It just does the work. You are not abandoned. You are covered. This silence is not empty. It is sacred. Isolation is man-made. Incubation is divine. When God is building something valuable, He guards it, because not everyone has the hands to touch what heaven is forming. And in this incubation, God is going to do surgery. Not the kind you can schedule, control, or understand, but spiritual surgery that reaches places words could not reach. Drama that talking couldn't fix. Fear that affirmations couldn't silence. Patterns that discipline couldn't break. God is touching the roots, not just the fruit. He's healing the places where you learn to survive by hardening. The places where you built armor because tenderness felt unsafe. The places where you became the strong one because you didn't think anyone would carry you. And now heaven is saying, you don't have to be the strong one in my presence. You can be the real one. If you try to move and you can't, don't panic. Praise, because that means the operation is still in progress. God does not need your strength right now. He needs your surrender. Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7, not some of it, all of it. The anxiety about what you're missing, the anxiety about how you look to others, the anxiety about whether you're falling behind. This is where faith becomes practical. You let God hold what you've been gripping until your knuckles went white. And while you are in this stillness, understand that heaven is not idle. Heaven is active. While you rest, God is fighting battles you were never meant to fight with your own energy. There are storms forming around you, but God is teaching you that peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is the presence of His authority. There are shifts happening in your finances, doors opening in places you didn't even know existed, conversations happening about you that you didn't arrange, favor moving through channels you didn't build. You are about to discover what it feels like to be blessed without burnout, to be provided for without panic, to be elevated without begging. Because God is not only your Savior, He is your source. And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 14:19. That is not poetry, that is covenant. Some of you have been taught subtly and repeatedly that if you don't grind, nothing happens, that if you rest, you lose, that if you slow down, you fall behind. But God is breaking that lie in you. He is detoxing your soul from performance. He is ending the race that has been running you into the ground. He is teaching you rhythms of rest, not rituals of relentless striving. Even the land in Scripture was commanded to rest. God built rest into creation because rest is not a reward for finishing. It is a requirement for fruitfulness. When God restores you, you won't just feel better. You'll think better, choose better, and move with wisdom instead of urgency. And yes, relationships will shift too. There are connections you cried over, prayed over, and finally gave up on, but heaven never stopped working behind the scenes. While you are quiet, God is giving clarity to people who misunderstood you. He is softening hearts that were hard. He is silencing tongues that tried to smear your name. He is rearranging loyalties. He is exposing motives. You won't have to argue your way into being valued. You won't have to force reconciliation. God can heal what you couldn't fix with 10 conversations. Sometimes healing doesn't begin with explanation. It begins with consecration. Sometimes God restores things not by giving you a better speech, but by giving you deeper peace. And here is and you are about to enter your divine future, but remember this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry when Jesus says, "Give and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall, share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now, join the family, and see your heavens open. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment, a place where divine abundance is not just a hope, but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits.